Hey, hey, happy Wednesday night. Ooh, I'm big, I'm large. I'm playing with filters. Have a little fun. Hmm, no. Let's see. Oh, party. Woo! Let's see, what else do we got? Oh, there you go. I like that. Lipstick on me. Ooh. Hello, hello. Where my people at? Rainbow. Have a little fun. Oh no, it's hard enough dealing with one of me. I don't think you want three of me. I'm green with that. I like that one. I think that's it. I got a crown, as it should be. All right, I'll stop playing with filters. I'm just waiting for some people to jump on. Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Are you woke? Hopefully so. Don't fall asleep on me. Feel free to type in the comments. How are you doing? How's your week going? All of that stuff. Hey, Matthew. Now I don't know how to get off of this page. Who knows? All these fun things that they put on here, they're such a distraction. All right, go away. I'll wait for comments. Hi, everyone. Hi, Matthew. Wave. Hi, Tiff. Ah, I miss you. I never see you anymore. I feel like I need the badoom. It's an inside joke. Oh, I think that's what I got the heart for. All right. I am going to get started. It is Wednesday. So that begs the question, are you woke? It's time to wake up on Wednesday. All right. So tonight we're going to play a little game, and you might have seen this on some TikTok videos. So I want you to humor me. Oh, you're getting a tattoo? Well, you need your hands free. No, I'm just joking. Make your tattoo artist put your tattoo. Is it are you with Lou? Oh, I can't wait to see the new tattoo. I feel like I need some new ink too. Ooh, I got 6, so that means I need at least 2 so that I'm even, right? I can't just get one. Hi, Frederick. All right, so we're gonna play a little game to get this started on Woke Wednesday. So if your hands are free, I want you to put all 10 fingers up. You might have seen something like this on TikTok. We're gonna do it a little bit different. Well, the same. We're gonna do it the same, but the questions are gonna be a little bit different. So all 10 fingers up. Okay, so I want you to think about this. Put a finger down if you've ever made a mistake. Put a finger down if you have ever let someone down. Put a finger down if you've ever hurt someone. Put a finger down if you've ever allowed someone to mistreat you more than once. Once, it's the same as like, fool me once, shame on me, or shame on you, right? But if you've let somebody, mistreat you more than once. Put a finger down if you have worried about the future. Oh, I'm out of fingers on that hand. All right, over to the next hand. Put a finger down if you have ever beat yourself up for something, like a mistake that you made. Put a finger down if you've ever told yourself you're not good enough or you're not worthy of something. Put a finger down if you've ever taken out your mood on someone that you love and it wasn't their fault. That's getting hard to leave those two up. Put a finger down if you have ever avoided a difficult conversation or situation because you just didn't want to deal with it, so you ignored it or avoided it. Put a finger down if you have ever quit on yourself. Does anybody have any fingers left? Because I don't. These are all things that are very normal for people to go through in life. And what sets us apart, what sets the successful, and you can define success however you want, but the successful or happy people, the things that set them aside from the people who don't find that happiness is really how they choose to look at and process those things. See, we are all human, so we all are going to make mistakes. We are human, so we're all going to hurt someone. I'm not saying it's intentional. We are human, so we are going to let people down. We are human, so we're going to beat ourselves up. But see, the difference is how you look at those things and how you process them as to whether or not you're going to be able to turn that into success or, if you're going to continue to let that affect you. So I want you to close your eyes. We're actually going to do 2 closing your eyes today. So close your eyes. And I want you to think of one situation where you made a mistake. Could be a big situation. It could be a little one. If you pick a little one, you're chickening out. I'm just going to tell you that. But pick a situation where you made a big mistake or where you made a mistake. I want you to just kind of think about that situation. What was the outcome? Did a relationship get lost over that? Did someone get hurt? Was it, did somebody lose money? Did someone get physically hurt? So think about what that situation was. And I want you to notice as you're thinking about the situation, your emotions. What are your emotions about the situation? And I want you to think about how notice your breathing. How are you breathing? So when you think about this situation, are you feeling angry? Do you feel regret or fear or guilty? Or do you feel aware and creative and decisive and forgiving and action-oriented? See, when we encounter these situations, as I've said, these situations are all normal. Just because we've encountered them in the past doesn't mean, okay, I finished that. Now, no more mistakes in my life. We're going to continue to have those things. So if we can turn the way we think about those things, if we can turn the way around the way we process those things, then we can start to really focus more on, again, being decisive and moving forward, right? Action-oriented. How can I fix this, or how can I make sure I don't do this again? We can be aware sometimes of maybe an emotional, I guess we could call it pit that we fell into that caused the situation. And so when we're aware, then we can make a decision that we don't want that to happen again, right? So I regularly say this in my workshops and as I'm talking to people, and I talk to a lot of people who are going through these very things. So it's always helpful to know you are not alone. I won't break into Michael Jackson right now, but it's always helpful to know you are not alone. But, one thing that I always say to people is show yourself as much grace as you show others. And you can fill in grace with anything you want. Show yourself. See, I get grace kind of from my faith and the biblical side of it. So, just like God showed me grace for all of my sins, I need to show myself that same grace, right? I tend to give other people way more grace than I give myself. Show yourself as much forgiveness as you show others. Show yourself as much kindness as you show others. So don't hold yourself to an expectation that you don't hold. I mean, it's good to hold yourself to expectations, but you don't want to hold yourself to such a high expectation that you cannot get past, when you make mistakes. You cannot fix that in your mind. You're just like, oh man, I'm failing and this is horrible, right? So part of this whole thing of showing ourselves grace and forgiveness and kindness and all of these types of things, part of that is really about self-care. And to me, self-care is an important thing. It's something that should be ongoing. It's interesting because I actually kind of came up with this topic last week, and then as you guys saw, it was a big day. My daughter bought her own car and stuff like that, so that was timely. I was like, I need to talk about that one tonight. This one, it's interesting because when I came up with this idea last week, it was because I was noticing a lot of my friends were posting things about not feeling right in themselves, not feeling, like they were struggling with things and kind of feeling like they needed, to take care of themselves. And so self-care is a big thing, and it should be an ongoing effort. Like, you should always be looking to do something for self-care. And I actually had another friend that posted something, and it was just like a thing like, hey, what have you been doing to show yourself self-care? So ever since the quarantine, I guess we can call it, the stay-at-home order, whatever, ever since that started, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do a little bit more pampering of myself. So it's as simple as like doing a face mask or whatever the case may be. But self-care is very important. And so I think part of it starts with awareness. What's going on inside of me? How am I feeling? What do I need right now? So that's the first part, is being aware and then allowing yourself and giving yourself what you need. See, a lot of us look to other people to fill our needs, and that's never going to work. If you look to a spouse or significant other to fulfill your need, well, what happens if they're on a trip or something and they're not there to fill that need? What happens if you rely on being able to call this one particular friend every time there's something going on and that friend doesn't happen to be available, right? You have to be able to do these things yourself. When kids are babies, we talk about teaching them to self-soothe, right? And I know there's split camps on this. Some people are like, let them lay in there and cry, because they need to figure out how to get past that. And then there's the other ones that just want to pick up the baby every time they cry, right? I'm not saying there's a right or a wrong in that. I'm just saying, we talk about helping babies learn to self-soothe, but then we forget about that as adults. We need to learn to self-soothe, right? So now we're going to go in the opposite direction. So start with both hands, no fingers up. And I want you to put a finger up if you have taken a hot bath or a shower for relaxation, not because you're, getting cleaned up for the day, for relaxation. Put a finger up. Put a finger up if you have exercised. And it doesn't have to be hardcore exercise. That could be taking a walk. That could be weightlifting. That could be yoga. That could be stretching, whatever the case may be. Put a finger up if you have, meditated or prayed. I don't know about you guys, but meditation and I'm so sad to say this, but I've realized prayer are hard for me because I can't shut this thing up. So I'm sitting there trying to have a conversation, and up here is going through all this other stuff in my mind. So that's the constant struggle I'm working on. Put a finger up if you have, done your favorite, taken part in a hobby that you might have, whatever that hobby might be. Maybe it's painting or sculpture. Maybe it's yard work, which I personally don't understand, but to each his own, whatever. Maybe your hobby is running. Again, don't understand that one bit. I have a good friend who that's definitely her hobby. Put a finger up if you have asked someone for help. Let's think about that one. How many of you have a hard time asking for help? I'm waiting. I know it can't just be me. See, I've found that there are different reasons why people don't ask for help, and I've been doing informal, research on this for a couple of years now. So asking for help is an important piece of self-care, and a good friend helped me realize this a couple of years ago. I would come home from work. And a lot of times there was like all this other stuff that came after work. So maybe I had to pick my daughter up from basketball practice. And then I had to come home and make dinner. And it was Tuesday night, so the trashes had to go out. And then I had to clean up dinner. And then I had to do all this stuff. And I would never ask my daughter to help me. And my friend said, why don't you ask her to help you? You know what I said? Because she should know. So fellas, I know that you understand that this is like a woman thing, because I'm sure if you've ever been in a relationship with a woman, you know this is what women do. Well, you should know that I'm upset, and you should understand why, right? You should read my mind. Women, we do this. I know, and I've had to learn that people don't read our minds. So he was like, well, why didn't you ask for help? And I was like, because she should know I need help. She's sitting here watching me do all this, right? And then he was like, okay, well, so you can either shut up and stop bitching about it, basically. I don't think that's the way he said it. You run. Yeah, Jay, that's a good idea. You can stop bitching about it, or you could just ask for help, right? Because here's the thing, most people like to help. So I've learned how to reframe it now. I do this in my class too. We're going to reframe asking for help. So if you don't ask for help, you're robbing someone else of the opportunity to help you. And I want you to think about when you've helped other people, you usually feel pretty good about that. You're usually like, oh, that was a pretty good person. I helped somebody, right? So you're robbing somebody of the experience of helping you. So yeah, have you asked for help? Let's do some more. So I got one hand up. This one's closed. I forgot. All right. So have you read anything? And that can be whatever you choose. Okay. Let me say, have you read anything besides Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram? Okay. Let's be real with that. Have you allowed yourself to be present in a moment? That might mean like you put your phone away. You take a break from social media, and so you're not necessarily taking pictures of your food because you're just enjoying your food, right? Yeah, so once I got those gourmet crab fries the other day that you might have seen, I took the picture first and then I put my phone away, right? Because I was like, ooh, I need to experience every essence of these crab fries. Have you chosen to put something healthy into your body? So take care of your body with nutrition, right? That's a big one. Have you volunteered service to others? So not only have you asked for help, but have you offered help to somebody else and actually provided help to somebody else? Have you gotten into nature? So all of us have our own ways of taking care of ourselves, right? We all have our own ways of taking care of ourselves. I might have covered some of that in there for you. I will tell you, my go-to take care of myself, like the biggest way I can take care of myself is travel, right? So first of all, especially if I get to travel somewhere where there's a beach, because I've shared with you guys that like water, to me, water just there's something about water that speaks to my soul. And that could be because I'm a California girl, by birth. That could be part of what it is. But the other thing is, I don't know, it's just the being able to get out and get away from home. See, when you're at home, you can say, okay, I'm going to pamper myself. I'm going to take a hot bath or a shower. Cool. But when you get out of that hot bath or shower, guess what's still around you? All the stuff, right? Oh no, Lily, we're not doing this again tonight. This is dog. So travel to me is the ultimate like self-care getaway. And like I said, you get to choose where you want to travel. So we're going to do our second close your eyes for the night. So close your eyes. And I want you to think of, if you could be one place, any place in the world right now, where would that be? Think about where that place would be. And once you have that place in your head, you're like, oh yeah, like mine, probably Jamaica. And so once you've got that place in your head, now I want you to think of, now I want you to, we're going to go through this whole thing. What do you see around you? What do you see? If you look to the left, what do you see? My neck is screwed up. I can't look too far to the left. What do you see? Do you see mountains? Do you see cars? Do you see an ocean? What do you hear? Maybe you hear absolutely nothing. Maybe you hear waves crashing. Maybe you hear birds or some other kind of animal. Elephants. Obviously, I like elephants. What do you feel? Do you feel sun hot on your skin? Maybe you like snow, so maybe you feel snowflakes falling on you. You can feel them touching your nose. What do you feel? What do you smell? Now, y'all know I like food, but when I'm sitting on Jamaica on this beach that I'm envisioning, I'm not smelling food. I'm smelling like the ocean air. I am smelling a cocktail because that's sitting next to me. So what do you smell? I want you to like really just sit in that for a minute and imagine being there, right? Sometimes we can't always, like I can if I want to. We can't always just go, right? Sometimes we have things that keep us from being able to go. Right now, a good one, and it's not 100% preventing us, but a lot of people aren't going places because of COVID. But guess what? The world is still open. We can still travel. I did it a few weeks ago. It was great, right? We can still do those things. So we can't all, there might be other reasons. Maybe you have to stay home and take care of the kids, or maybe, an elderly parent or family member, or you don't have, the time off of work or whatever. So whatever the reason may be, we can't, you might not be able to go there right now, but go there in your head. I think that that's important, to be able to go there in your head, right? So important. So open your eyes. Does anybody feel like they just took like a little mini trip? I like to do that every once in a while, because especially I have really, ever since getting back from California, I have really been missing the ocean. And it's like, it's calling me even louder and louder. And I'm like, I don't know that I can do this too much longer. I'm going to need to get to the ocean again real soon, right? So yeah. So hey, if you're on and paying attention, feel free to type in some things that you do for self-care. Some people, really like get OCD about cleaning, and that's a way of caring for themselves. I know for me, when I started changing the way I exercise, I removed myself from group classes, because when I was going to group classes to exercise, that was social hour for me. And so I was just focused on being funny and trying to make people laugh. And when I took myself out of those group classes and started like exercising by myself, that became my me time. At the time, that was my main me time. I could go in there, I could put on whatever I wanted in my earbuds, I could zone out everybody else, and I was focused solely on me. Right? And that's the whole thing. Think about it. And we're gonna look at this from another travel analogy. So think about it. When you get on an airplane, if you've ever been on an airplane, they tell you if the oxygen masks have to come out, right? You're supposed to put your own oxygen mask on first before you help anyone else. Now, this is hard. This is why the title of today's session is Who's Number One? Because if you're a parent and you said my kids, or if you're a spouse and you say my husband or my wife or my parents or anyone else, you are dead wrong. Number one is you. And that's hard for so many of us. This is not coming from an egotistical place. This is coming from a place of you cannot care for other people if you are not taking care of yourself first. I've heard it said this way: you can't pour from an empty cup. Absolutely. What's coming out? Nothing. Maybe a droplet, right? So you have to take care of yourself first. And I just want to give you one last little way to think of it when you're in one of these tough moments, and maybe you've made a mistake, you've done something wrong. I know there have been more than one occasions where I have, taken my bad mood from whatever out on my daughter, and it's just it's just not fun. And I always apologize to her for it. I think that, taking accountability is big. But I used to also, and I'm not going to say I still don't. Sometimes I still have to work on myself with this, but beat myself up over those things. And one of my counselors helped me look at it this way. And I think that it was so important to me, because I remember talking to her at one point, and I was telling her something about something that, I was holding on to. And, she was telling me why I needed to let it go. And I was basically arguing with her as to why I should still be beating myself up over this, right? It was crazy. And, she asked me, she was like, okay, so tell me what's going on in your head. And if you've never watched Brene Brown, YouTube talks talks on YouTube, Brene Brown is a genius. I freaking love her. She's my favorite, Brene Brown. And she talks about this sometimes, the stories we tell ourselves. And she actually tells a story of how her and her husband decided to start using this language when they would have disagreements, or when they weren't seeing eye to eye, or when something was wrong. And so you have to say, the story I'm telling myself is this, because that's what's happening up here. I posted something earlier today about this might not be reality. What we are looking at right now might not actually be what's the case, right? We are perceiving it in a certain way. So the story I'm telling myself is, I need to beat myself up over this. The story I'm telling myself is, I am not worthy. The story I'm telling myself is, I am a big screw up. The story I'm telling myself is, I'm never going to be successful. The story I'm telling myself is, I failed myself once again. The story I'm telling myself is, it's okay to quit on myself. Whatever that story you're telling yourself. And so my counselor transitioned into this, and this was so powerful. She said, what if Jordan were saying those things to herself? I just got goosebumps. What if she was in a situation where she made a mistake, and she was telling herself that she's unworthy, that she's a failure? Ooh. That changed the whole perspective, right? Sorry. That changed the whole perspective, because I absolutely would not want Jordan treating herself the way I sometimes treat myself. So I think that's really good perspective to put on it at the end. So thank you all for joining today. I hope you are having a blessed week so far. And hey, we've got 2 days left in the work week if you're a Monday through Friday person. So let's finish it out strong. Woo woo! And y'all have a great rest of your week. Feel free to drop any comments. Bye.